Hello, everybody. We are at. Thank you for tuning in to BMSTE Radio Show. We appreciate you. Today's show is sponsored by Hugs Don't Shoot. As you can see, all of our beautiful shirts up here. Wait a minute, Val. Yours is bedazzled.
That's right, because I'm special.
Hold on, and it's bedazzled in my purple though. So I need to buy another one.
Yeah.
Okay. I gotta buy the bedazzled one. I didn't notice that until we got in here and sat down, and hers was bedazzled. So today our show is sponsored by Hugs Don't Shoot, and I wanted to talk to you guys today about why we're doing this show, why I even started BMSTE Radio Show. I started it so that we would have a platform to discuss the things that are important to us, have our talent from BMS Talent and Entertainment to have a platform to be able to discuss their upcoming projects. But this type of show here is something that is near and dear to my heart. To be able to see people out there working in the community doing some amazing things. Last year, BMS Talent and Entertainment did blessing bags for the homeless. Last year, right before Thanksgiving, Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday. And so what we did last year is we did 100 blessing bags for the homeless, and we took it down to the shelter in D Street. This year, I want to do 400 bags. I want to take 200 bags down to the shelter in Southeast on Martin Luther King Avenue, and then I want to take another 200 to a women's shelter somewhere in the DMV or Baltimore area. So we're definitely looking forward to doing that. So today, right now, I want to introduce our guest, and we have Val Jenkins here, who created Hugs Don't Shoot, and she's going to introduce herself along with her hug dealers.
Hi, everyone. My name is Val Jenkins. I feel a little loud right here. My name is Val Jenkins, and we started from out of Baltimore, Maryland. Our first birthday of Hug Don't Shoot was August the 5th. And how did Hug Don't Shoot start? We started on a 72-hour ceasefire with another organization. They was planning for 72 hours to stop the violence. I was on the beach in Cancun when I noticed that someone in Baltimore got shot. And I said, we need to stop shooting and do more hugging. And I sent out an invite. 46 people signed up.
Wow.
And usually if 46 people sign up, you expect 20 people.
Right.
Well, 42 people showed up.
Wow.
Yeah, so we walked from the park, Drew Hill Park, I say that was like 3 miles or so, and we gave every single person we walked past a hug. We went on to 3 MTA buses full of people and gave hugs. We went to the subway. We went to an open drug market. If anyone not familiar with Baltimore, North and Pennsylvania Avenue is a open drug market. And we went down there and we gave hundreds of hugs.
Wow.
So again, it's supposed to last for the weekend. Then we got a call from the governor's office. Then we got a call from City Hall. Then we had murder victims, family who called us just for support. And it went on from there. And when that lady laid her head on my chest, and I was in a house full of people I never seen a day in my life, and she didn't even care that other family members came in. She would not let her head off of my chest. And she cried and cried and cried and thanked me for just being there for support. And I went and said, we can't stop. We cannot stop. And since I've been doing this, I've noticed different organization is, can I say, pro-black? We go black, help the black community. I just felt like everybody in the world need hugs. Even though I put it out there, it was certain people who was like, I want to help, I want to help, I want to help. And they became my 8 board members. And on the board, we have a Jew, a Muslim, a baby, 3 years old. We call her Huggabees.
Oh.
The adults we call hug dealers. We're a circle. We have one person who never been in Baltimore a day in her life. And she worked harder than I do. She worked harder than the rest of the board members. And we never seen her before. Never. This lady If she want to do anything to me, she could, because she got my bank account number. She have my credit card numbers. She have everything. And we never seen this lady a day in our life. And she works. I have to tell her faithfully every night to go to bed. Stop sending us emails. And every day she send me a message and say, Val, don't forget you got to do this. Gwen, don't forget you got to do that tomorrow. How powerful. My team came together, and the 8 people on there, none of them ever knew each other. They never seen each other. Never. But they don't even come to me. They go to each other when they like friends, and they don't even know each other. So we just been giving hugs. And the 5th, October the 5th made 2 months. And how many events we went to? 11, 12 different events. We went to Berkeley Elementary for the first day of school. We gave the kids a hug on their way to school. We went to the closing of Shake and Bake Recreation Center.
Why did they close it?
Funding. In a city with 262 murders, you come out your personal pockets and keep this building open. There's no excuse for that building to be closed. And I hear all the time, well, the city needs to do more, and the governor needs to do more, and the police need to do more. But what are you doing? Mm-hmm. What are you doing? Because you got your Facebook presidents that's on Facebook all the time cracking jokes, and they get 500 and 600 likes because they call somebody child a name, and you got all these people liking them. Or they talking down about somebody, you got somebody liking them. But we struggled to get 50 kids to go skating for free Saturday. We struggled to get 200 people to come out Saturday to support us on Save Our Kids. So my thing is, you don't want to come out and support an organization to try to stop your kids from getting murdered, but you want that organization and the mayor and the governor to come to your child's funeral. Something ain't right with this whole story. So stop talking about what somebody else doing and you start doing. Our first meeting was in a funeral home. I did that on purpose. Because if you don't want to come to a meeting to fix the city in a funeral home, eventually you go to that same meeting to look over your loved ones. 262 murders in one city.
That's very small. Baltimore is not very big at all.
Right, but 262 murders in any city is terrible. It should have been packed out there. And I give shout outs to Kevin Davis, the Baltimore City Commissioner. And I met him one time, and he gave us so much love. He called me, he had his secretaries call me 3 times in like 45 minutes to apologize that he couldn't come. But he will make sure somebody is out there. And Baltimore City showed up. Majors from different districts showed up Saturday. The mayor showed up. Like, they are there trying to help. But if they wouldn't have showed up, y'all would have noticed that. But nobody on our Facebook page said, shout out to the mayor for showing up. But where are y'all at? My board member, each one of my board members have a full-time job. And some of us have multiple business, but they make it their business to go out here. We've been out in this community at least 2 to 3 times a week since this started.
So let me just step in real quick. So I know you still have to introduce your dealers, but I just want to kind of talk about.
Saying it, don't she?
Yeah, I like that. I like the hug dealers. I just found out what the hug dealers meant. So when I reached out to Val and I was like, "Hey, would you like to come on the show and talk about, hugs don't shoot?" And of course, we can't talk about hugs don't shoot without talking about Thrive.
Exactly.
And then we'll talk about how I actually met Val and how she just turned my life completely upside down with her energy.
Oh.
But support comes in all different fashions.
Yes.
Everybody has 1,000 things going on. I know for me, I can't really commit unless I know that somebody's not booked. I don't have to help take somebody to an audition, or we don't have to go to New York real quick. So I always do things at the last minute, and then I do a lot of workshops and things. But this is support. Being able to give Hugs Don't Shoot a platform.
Yes.
It's support. Being able to share the post. If I can't make her event, that doesn't mean the other 3,000 people on my page can't make her event. So I share it.
Right.
Being able to call her, send her a message. Great job, Val. Keep going.
And you have.
Feeding into her so that she can help continue to do what she's doing. That's also support. You can't make everything. If you can, great. And I am going to commit to making one of these events. But there are other ways that you can show support. Buying a shirt.
Yes.
When you buy a shirt, it feeds into what her mission is. It feeds into, and not just Hugs Don't Shoot. You have friends who have businesses. You have people who are doing other community activist adventures. Support people. Share a post. Call them up and tell them they're doing a great job. Tell somebody else about it, that it might help them. If you know somebody in your circle that might help Val, why not, call her up and say, hey, Val, this is somebody I know. This person might help. Right. That's all still support.
Right.
So what I'm asking is for us to do a better job of supporting each other and supporting each other's visions, dreams, aspirations, because you can't get there on their own. Just like, you have all the A-list celebrities, they're getting there because you're feeding into them, you're buying their money. You're buying their products. You could buy your friend's makeup.
Right.
Like Flawless. We'll be here next week.
Right.
But you could do things like that to help build somebody else so that they can be and live where they want to go. So that's all I want to also talk about. So I want you to introduce your dealers.
So I have my hug dealer right here, Miss she's so.
You were getting ready to call me Miss Purdie.
I was getting ready to call her Purdie because I'm looking at her, the look on her face. That's Gwendolyn right here.
Hello, everyone.
So tell us about yourself and how did you get involved with Hug Don't Shoot?
Well, Miss Val Jenkins sent me a message and I responded, and I will do anything basically for Miss Val Jenkins. So
we all will.
So that's how I got started, and I'm a mother of 2 young African-American males.
In Baltimore City?
Baltimore City. They're both in college now, both in New York.
Shout out.
So I do see the need and the urgency to spread hugs rather than bullets. Nonetheless, I am a nurse as well. So I have seen the tragedy and the deaths and the repercussions of people being shot. So it's much needed, not just in Baltimore, but all over. And the thing of it is, just to share, on Saturday when we were at Penn and North, Mike, this young man, he really touched me to the point where I was upset and wanted to cry, because I have a 21-year-old and a 19-year-old. One is about to graduate and one is a sophomore. This young man was 22 years old and he was strung out. He had told me he had been out since like 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. And how he got started was he had family problems. Everybody in that neighborhood, police, everybody on the corner knows him. So he said that he had family problems. A drug dealer approached him and gave him cash, a powder, and some pills.
Yeah.
And ever since then, he's just been strung out. They feed him. I saw that there on that corner that day. But nobody really cares. And I think that's the problem with our city. And this is just my personal opinion. If it's not my family, not my son, not my daughter, I don't care. Let them deal with that themselves.
Right.
Nonetheless, your first ministry is your family. But somewhere in your heart, you have to find compassion to want to help somebody else, because that could be you. That could be your son. That could be your daughter that's getting shot unnecessarily. I mean, it's genocide, no matter how you look at it. We're killing each other, not even knowing why we're killing each other. We're killing each other because we're hurt and we don't know how to heal. So Mike is now part of my reason why I'm going to continue to give hugs and help as many people as I can.
Mike, it was bad. Mike was bad. Even the mayor was like, we got to get you cleaned up. And Mike was not the only one. Another guy, 27 years old, walked up and said, you had 15 cents. And I said, can I ask you why you need this 15 cents? He said, honestly, I need to get high. And I asked him, I say, what, if it's not too personal, where were you at the first time you tried drugs? And he said, I worked for the post office for 5 years. I had my own apartment, my own car, and nobody in my family supported me. Nobody said congratulations. Nobody said nothing. They didn't come to my house. He said one day he was on the corner with some drug dealers, and again, they gave him money. They fed him and gave him 2 pills, and he's been addicted ever since. I said, so where is, I'm sorry, my live keeps stopping. I say, so where is these drug dealers? He said, I haven't seen them since. But he's strung out. And this guy gave me his number, and I'm going to reach out to him. But I want to reach out to him when I have the right tools to reach out. So I already found somebody who's a counselor. I already found somebody else for mental health. And I'm trying to find somebody who's willing to employ this guy knowing he's a drug dealer. Because hug, don't shoot. Even with us, we're going to do background checks because we come to people space. So what we're going to do is, even if you have a bad record, we're still going to find something else for you to do. Because we don't give you one more chance, we give you another chance. Because we all fell short at one point.
Yes.
So that brings our next hug dealer, Purdie. Purdie, I always call her Purdie because I always call her Janai. Janai.
Yeah, she messes up my name each and every time, but she knows it. It's actually Janai Bruce. For reasons, I use my maiden name. And I actually met Val about 4 years ago.
Yeah.
At the airport. We were going on the same trip to Aruba. And we instantly clicked in the airport, and when I saw her put up the post, for the ceasefire, weekend, I was on it. I have 5 children, 2 grandchildren, and 3 of those children are men. They're young adults. We don't live in a city, but I come from the city. I was born and raised in Park Heights. And it's an epidemic. It is an epidemic that is strangling our community. And I just felt like this is about the most passionate thing that I've done in my life. And I told Val that it's so important to reach out to people. And no, you hear the naysayers, well, you're not going to stop a bullet. That's not the ultimate goal. We are not, it's not like we're not cognizant that we're not going to stop crime. It's going to continue, but you can make a difference. You can reach out to someone. You have so many people that we actually have hugged that have never been hugged.
Yes.
Never.
Yes.
Have never even had a stranger hug them, which, normally people don't have strangers hugging them, but they embrace it.
Yes.
And then you have the ones that just melt into you. And it can be a little scary because you don't know what people have on them.
Right.
And you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Yes.
You don't want to really take that into you, but you take it into you because that's what they need. So that's why I'm here, and this is why I do it.
So you kind of talked about the naysayers. So I'm going to be a naysayer. There's 226 murders,
262.
262, and let's just take Baltimore. Let's just strictly talk about Baltimore. There are, I think you said 242 of them were black on black crime.
I'm sure.
And you guys are African American women raising African American men over here. And we all know that just doesn't attack men. There's absolutely no code anymore in the streets.
None.
The Sundays where you're not supposed to do things and you don't shoot women, you don't shoot kids. All that's out the window.
Right.
So you guys are out there every day giving hugs for what? What is a hug going to do for somebody who is angry, someone who doesn't, care about life, someone who feels it's more important to get respect in the streets than it is for you to come out there and give a hug. What do you say to those people who are out there telling you guys you're just wasting your time, you're wasting your energy out there trying to give somebody a hug?
We get it a whole lot. We get it a whole lot. And I always go back to this one young man is stuck in my heart. On August the 5th, we were on Northern Pennsylvania. Open drug dealing going on. Drug using going on. This one guy, it was two guys sitting on the stoop. One of them was nodding, and the other one was just so cute. Oh my goodness, he was so handsome. And I said, really? You going to roll this blunt while we're right here giving hugs? Man, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Like this prescription. I said, don't do that. I'm from this neighborhood too. And he says, he says, whatever. And I say, you're so handsome. Why are you doing this? Not that looks matters. Why are you doing this? And he says, whatever. He said, I'm a college graduate and this, that, and the other. And I said, you know what? That really did it for me. And I said, if your parents pay for you to go to college, or even if you got a scholarship, somebody paid for it. How do you think they feel if they would have rolled past here and see you on this corner with all this drugs? And he just looked at me like, whatever. 3 minutes later, he got up and somebody tapped me and said, Val, look. And he got up and he walked with his head down. And I said, thank you, sir. I said it 3 times. In every interview I do, I talk about this one guy because I'm determined I'm going to find him. And I said, thank you 3 times, and he ignored me. And I said, thank you, sir. He still ignored me. I said, thank you, handsome. He looked back, put his thumbs up, and said, thank you. That he is one of my reasons that I'm going to continue this on. Then we did the Crump and Dent basketball Philly against Baltimore basketball game. And it was like 6 little girls, and they was walking past us, and one little girl was bullying the other ones. And I said, whoa, what's going on here? What's going on here? Well, I got money, I'm the only one with money, and this, that, and the other. And she was just clearly bullying them because she had money. She was cute, she was nice outfit on, da-da-da-da. And this little girl, I said, you know what, this is what I'm going to do. All of y'all go over there and get what y'all want, and I'm going to pay for it out of my pocket. And I went and paid for everybody there, cotton candy, what was it, snowballs or whatever. This little girl, every time she did something wrong, I said, come here, give me a hug. I'm not hugging you, I don't know you. And I said, your guardian here? She said yes, and I asked the lady, can I give her a hug? So I gave her a hug. This little girl, this almost bad, notice I didn't say bad, almost bad. Everything she done that whole entire day, this is what she would do. You're me. Y'all better stop. Y'all better get off of there. Y'all better stop. She was doing everything possible to get my attention. And come on, come here, give me another hug. I'm not gonna keep hugging you. Oh yes, you are. You gonna keep hugging me. By the end of that day, I called that little. I said, you are so gorgeous. What did she do? She turned her head and wiped the tear away. And I said, what's wrong? This little girl who was like, what, 12, 13 years old? Nobody called me pretty before. Then me and Janai was like, Janai would turn L head because we try not to cry. Right. At the end of the day, that little girl grabbed my waist and said, please don't leave. I want to volunteer with y'all. And that's another one I have to find. Every place we go, it's at least one person that stick with us. Everywhere we go.
And that's all it takes. If you're making a difference with at least one person. If it's one person, then it's worth it.
And that's why we continue. It doesn't matter what the naysayers say.
So I want to go into one other thing. So when I was talking about the Vegas thing today, one of the things that I said, and I know that people might get a little funny with it, but I think that I don't know all the particulars in this situation with the Vegas. Let me start by saying that I don't know the history. I kind of listened to it, but then I was at work and it was already weighing on me, so I didn't get into the details. But I think a lot of times we people have to be more conscious of what we say to people, because we don't know how close to the edge people are. So today it could be, I'm tired, everything's going on at home, nothing is working out well, and I just feel like giving up.
Right.
And you in the car, and somebody cuts you off, or somebody calls you a name, or somebody may say something to you that's a trigger word. And you never know how somebody's going to respond to it. But we never think about, if you just feed something positive into somebody, how you could possibly stop them from going over that edge.
Right.
True.
Right.
So I'm trying to also figure out, how do we breathe positivity into each other, especially, I'm going to say it, especially with women. How can we breed more positivity into each other so that we're not always, it's like we rip each other to shreds.
Yes.
And I can only talk about women because that's what I am.
Right.
That's the circles that I'm in.
Right.
We tend to tear each other down, but we tend to accept men cheating on us,
My.
men degrading on us. They talk down. We accept all these things from men, but let a female say or do something, or we all over it like a can of paint. Like it's we can't accept it. We're not taking that.
Right.
Who's she talking to?
Right.
She don't know nothing about me. Blah blah blah. We end in friendships that's been going on.
For years.
There's really no words around it. There's really no, I'm just really tired of it. I'm tired of being in those cliquey circles. I just don't want to be a part of it. And I can say, I took privilege and I was in those circles. Oh, who is she? Ooh, what she got on? Or I just don't have that. I don't like it. I don't like being a part of it. I'd rather work on my business than sit there and be catty and talk about another female. Or I just rather look at things in a more positive way. Okay, she did that, but how do you know? Do you know her backstory?
Oh my goodness.
Do you know why she's that way? Side chicks ain't born. They've been through something why they are that way. And I think that we just not compassionate to one another, and we
What
think,
they going through.
yeah, we know you. I've gone through stuff. Everybody's gone through stuff that's made you be who you are. So why don't you think that woman that you tearing down ain't been through something too?
And I just had this conversation the other day with someone I grew up with. The word that I hate the most, mainly coming out of a man's mouth, is calling a woman crazy. It's like that's the fad name. Oh, she crazy. But what have you done to make her crazy? Or have you ever sat down and asked her, what did that last man do to make her crazy? But they so quick to call names out and not even knowing the fact that that name might cause somebody. We don't know. I don't know the man. I didn't see the man who did the shooting in Vegas.
I don't know.
I don't know if he was black, white, Muslim, a child, or him or her. We don't know that story. But where was that man at 20 minutes before? No, I'm going to say 24 hours because most definitely this was planned out. Right. But what happened to him before that situation happened? It could have been he lost his job or somebody said something. And it sounds so crazy for the guy who say, oh, I used drugs because my family didn't even say good congratulations on getting a house. Right. But that means so much. When I bust my tail to put this thing together Saturday, my nephew just got killed in April. Where was my family? And I explained that to him. I am the youngest of 5 sisters, used to be 6. Not one of my sisters was out there. And I let him know. Maybe that changed his life, like, And he said, I didn't think about that. We all need support. And I tell them all the time, when I see somebody, I never met you a day in my life before Celeste, intros and collaborations.
Intros and collabos events.
Right. Celeste. Woo-hoo.
Yes, intros and collabos.
Right.
Okay.
Come to one of those events.
Yes. And I share your posts as much as possible. Flawless Face. Board and Transportation. I
Love
never
them.
met them
Me either.
before intros and collaborations. So but I see the goodness that these people are doing. So I try to share that post all the time. Gwen have Wellness Works. I try to share her post as much as possible.
Can you tell us about it?
Yeah,
And you have a book there, too.
I do, but
She
can
did.
I speak off of what
Oh.
you were saying and Val was saying?
Absolutely.
I want to say relationship and communication. Us as women, a group of women, very often rather see another woman down than actually build her up. It's not about the Louis Vuittons. It's not about the red MAC lipstick. It doesn't make a difference if she was the person that went to elementary school, middle school, and high school with you. You should see in her that she is a sister that is trying to grow. And within her growth, she could help you grow or help someone else in your family grow. And the thing of it is when we stop looking at the ugliness that we actually see in ourselves and put it on someone else, that's when we will actually start to really love one another.
Yes.
And grow, support each other wholeheartedly without feeling like someone is taking something away from me. And I can speak to that not just for women, but for men as well. Because even throughout the Hug, Don't Shoot events, we need more men
Yes.
to come out.
Absolutely.
Young men, we need pastors to come out. And Val can tell you, I have prayed over some of these folk
Yes,
out
she
here
did.
in this street.
Yes.
But our small group, even though we may be considered powerful, we need more. And we most definitely need more community support, most definitely more black male support. And there's no reason why someone can't say, oh, I can come out an hour or 15 minutes or whatever just to shed light with someone, hug someone, hold somebody's hand, listen to their story. We're not asking for anything at all, just to uplift another human being.
How many men on average do you guys see come out?
We have one faithful.
We have
Yeah.
one
Oh, my
faithful
goodness.
Eric
I love
Carter.
him.
He is so faithful.
Yes.
We have we have what, 8 board members?
Yes.
We have one man, Kenny even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One male board member. Eric Carter, we met him on the first day on the corner. Never seen that man a day in my life. And let me tell you, when we first started Hug Don't Shoot, you know, when you're doing the board and all that, you got to have a mission. And we had to say what Hug stand for. And Hug,
What does it stand for?
that at first it was Hold Us God. But then we learned, not taking nothing from us, we learned that Eric was a Muslim.
Right.
So Eric was the reason why we broadened this. And then Betsy came on as a Jew.
Right.
So we didn't want to step on nobody's toes. So we changed Hold Us God to Hold Us Gentle.
Oh, wow.
So we want to hold Muslims and Jews and whoever. We want to hug white people and Chinese people and whatever.
we have.
And-
Yes, and we have.
And actually on Saturday, Yom Kippur, we walked past the synagogue
Yes,
and we received hugs from the Jewish people on their holiday.
We did on that biggest holiday. And I wasn't even thinking because we was on the bullhorn. And I was like, Hug, don't shoot. And he came up like, and I was like, we can ready to get Betsy put out. But we want to be able to hold, not saying, oh, because one person, we saying we don't believe in God. That's not what we saying. We just, everyone need a hug. I don't care
Yes.
who they are. I don't care who. Guess what? That man who killed somebody, killed all those people today, he's dead. I'm hearing he's dead. But guess what? His family need a hug. Because it wasn't his family fault what he did.
No.
His family
Right.
need a hug.
And communication.
Yeah.
I can't reiterate communication enough.
Yeah.
If people, I mean, communication is not just verbal, but it most definitely is physical. So if people actually paid attention to physical communication to read the signs and the symptoms that people are letting off, not just of hurt and pain, but mental illness as well.
Yes.
You never know someone's thought process. When I lived in Delaware, there was
Sorry.
there was a young man that was in a diner. The person that was sitting next to him, the man who was sitting next to him, asked if he could have his ink pen. The gentleman told him no. The guy killed a man over his ink pen.
Jesus.
So you never know.
No.
So the guy in Las Vegas, communication, somebody saw
The signs.
Somebody
The
saw the
signs
signs and
and
chose
ignored
not
it.
to act. Is nothing wrong with asking somebody, how are you doing today?
Right.
Can I help you?
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with
Yeah.
it at all. Or telling somebody, I appreciate you, or I thank
Oh,
you.
my goodness.
It goes a long,
Long
way.
way.
And even with the hugs, why can't we change a person's day? Because us giving hugs on Saturday could have saved somebody's life. Literally.
Do you have the pictures from Saturday?
We took kids off the corner and took them skating.
And
They
the
never
one-
seen us a day in their lives.
The one father walked up at the bus stop.
Look at
and
the, look at the
said, "Here's my
pictures.
kid."
Look at what you guys did. Just look at the fruits of your
Powerful.
labor.
That,
Look at
that
the
picture
signs
right there.
that the
They
kids
actually
made.
post that on the Baltimore City Police Department
They did.
website
Mhm.
today.
Yeah.
Did they?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And this lady right here, I met her last week at Angie Smith event, and that's another person you need to have in your organization. Her son just got killed. And let me tell you how things, I always say, funerals and weddings will break a family up.
Yes.
This lady that I just met last Tuesday, she said since her son got killed, her whole entire family, not just her kids, the whole entire family get together every single Saturday and have dinner. I don't think that happened.
Oh, we have a phone call. Hi, thanks for calling in the BMSTE radio show. How may we help you?
Yes, hi. This is Siobhan. How are you, Benita?
Hi, Siobhan.
Is that
Yes,
El
Siobhan.
Siobhan?
Yes.
Tell my lovely stalker friend Val, you're doing a phenomenal job, and thank you for all that you have been doing. Because don't shoot.
Awesome. Thank you, honey.
Yes, I wanted to ask. Benita already asked you the question in regards to people don't respond to you very well, and just most recently when you were on your Facebook Live, I was amazed at how well you were engaged with the audience, complete strangers, and how they were gravitating to you. And the most affectionate thing that you have and you are able to expose to others is your personality and your warmth and your love. And I really, really appreciate all that you're doing for everybody. So I just wanted to call in and tell you thank you. Continue to do it. I one day want to be a volunteer as well. So be sure to reach out to me too and to tell you thank you. Keep on doing what you're doing.
Oh, that
thank
was
you
awesome.
so much.
That was awesome.
Thank you for calling.
You're welcome. Y'all take care.
And please don't make my guests cry.
Yeah. So real quick, let me tell you, I met her at your event, and she was sitting beside me, and we instantly clicked as you and I. And this chick told me how many children she had. I never met her a day in my life. I was like, girl, you better get out of here, that body. You better get out of here. I was like, not that body ain't had no kids. Whoa, that was powerful. Thank you so much. So real quick, we want to get on her book.
Yes.
And this brokenness, it's so to this.
It's called Brokenness Creates Wholeness.
Okay.
My book is 34 pages. It is on Amazon and CreateSpace. And basically, I wrote this book. It wasn't the book that I intended to write, but I wrote this book.
I'm gonna need you to get some better equipment in here so my phone stop falling. Don't say that, then you're gonna say it's the operator.
I wrote this book to go over some of the processes that I went through to heal myself after going through domestic violence and my divorce. So it's 5 chapters, WHOLE. Wholeness, Holy Spirit, obedience, love, and endurance, which I think are key for a person to heal himself. There's also questions, there's scripture, and there's a benediction.
Oh wow!
At the back.
Again,
the book is only $8 because 8 is biblically known for new beginnings. So I believe that once a person goes through the book, even the book is small, it's not meant to, read it in a day and rush through it. It's meant for you to take your time and actually look at yourself, answer the questions, pray, meditate, reflect, so you can get to where you need to be, so you can walk in the design purpose that God has for you.
Absolutely. And we all know that this month is Domestic Violence Month. So
Yes.
I did want to do something for that this month. So this is awesome. Thank you for bringing the book.
You're welcome.
So we have how many minutes left here? So we have about 10 minutes. So I want to get into how I met Val, and then she could tell us about Thrive. So when I met Val, I was having an event. It was supposed to be a speed networking event, but I had got this tap, and it's supposed to be, God told me it's supposed to be a woman event. But then I was like, I don't know what it is you want me to do. I don't know where to go. And I went to Intros and Collabos, shout out.
Intros.
Celeste, Intros and Collabos.
I'll be on there tomorrow, 10 o'clock.
We
10
went
p.m.
to Intros and Collabos, and I met Val. And she sat and told me her story of everything that she has gone through. And she had the most energy out of everybody in the whole room. She had no complaints. And she was hustling. And she believed and stood by her product. And to me, that was something that I gravitated to. So, of course, I followed her. And, we talk, we may not talk every day, but she's definitely in my spirit, because when I don't feel well and I feel tired and I don't want to, one more thing, I think of Val and I can keep going. Because if she can do it, there's no reason that I can't. So I want to let you know that too, Val. You keep me pushing, because when I see you out there, when I see her out there with everything that she has going on, I don't have no reason and no excuse not to keep pushing. So I want to make sure that you know that. And people are watching you.
I'm going to have to buy that book.
People are paying attention to what you're doing, because I see. And I'm able to talk about, and I'm glad that I know about it, because you never know who I would run across that could actually use it, or who I could connect you with, or you just never know where your journey is going to go. So I want to make sure you know that I'm right here with you, whatever you need. If you need to come back and talk about something, promote something, if you need me to put it on the show because it's something you need to do, if you're needing stuff, you have to reach out and let us know. My platform is your platform.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
So I'm going to let Val talk about Thrive.
Thrive, keep me alive. So I have a 50 years worth of story that I have to put in like 5 minutes, and that's really hard. So I was born with health challenges, and no one knew what my health challenges was, and no one believed all that I've been through. But things happen for a reason. 8 years ago, my house burned down. I hit my head, the walls exploded, I hit my head in the fire, and I thought I got out the fire fine. And I start falling and falling and falling and falling. Then I start getting a pain in the top of my head. I had one doctor in my 50 years of life who believed in me. And she was determined. This lady ended up retiring with ovarian cancer, but she said, I am not retiring until we figure out what's going on. Well, long story short, I ended up diagnosed with a brain disease. And she said, Val, I've never heard of this disease a day in my life, so get a second opinion. So I always respect her for that, for saying she didn't know. I'm skipping over a whole lot because there's a whole lot to talk about. So when I didn't believe her because I was diagnosed with so much. I was told for 15 years I was a chronic asthmatic. I knew I didn't have asthma, so I went skydiving to prove I didn't have asthma. My mother said that was about the dumbest thing she ever heard in her whole life. So 2 weeks after I went skydiving, I was diagnosed with that brain disease. And when I went to call the second opinion, this is exactly how it went. Called the secretary, and I told her my name, and she said, "Oh my God, he been waiting for you to call." Well, why he ain't call me? So she was like, he said that you don't need a second opinion, you need emergency surgery ASAP. I'm like, whatever. I was misdiagnosed my whole life. So when I went in there, I was fine. I went to work first. My doctor's appointment was like,
Wait a minute. So they told you to come in and have emergency surgery, and you went to work?
I wouldn't go for emergency surgery because I'm that black girl in Park. Cause you don't know me. You always want that's how y'all want to do. Y'all ain't going to my head. You must be crazy. He was like, well, just come in. We'll give you a second opinion. I felt good. I had the doctor's appointment, just throwing numbers up like 12 o'clock. Went to work. I was feeling my normal unhealthy self. Unhealthy, but I was in a good mood. So about the time I got to the hospital, it was, help me. Somebody help me. Help me. And they ran out there to get me, and I went to tie my shoe. And when I went to tie my shoe in his doctor's office, I just vomited all over the doctor. And I couldn't see no more. And he was like, open up the door and said, call 911. She needs surgery right now. And I'm like, you're not going in my head, sir. He was like, cancel all my appointments. And I said, sir, you cannot do surgery right now because I got hair appointments to do, and Monday is the first day of school, and I need to do these kids' hair. And he was like, you're not going to live that long. I said, yes, I am. So if I die, you go say I died doing these kids' hair. So that Saturday, I did the kids' hair. That Sunday, I was in the Parliament Temple, and everybody thought I had the spirit because I passed out. Well, when I passed out, they rushed me to Johns Hopkins where they did the emergency surgery on my brain. I have a brain disease, and my brain is too big for my skull. So the stem of my brain is sliding down my neck. I had the surgery 2 weeks out the hospital. I was back in the hospital. I went blind and paralyzed. And I had years of I never not had a headache. So they gave me, I was losing my eyesight 5 or 10 times a day. So then the doctors called me in, going through all these tests. They realized I'm allergic to every medication. So they called me in and told me I had 6 months. They said I will go fully blind, then paralyzed, then no need to ever come back to the hospital. So I put it on Facebook. As you know, I put all my business on Facebook. And a friend of mine who lived in North Carolina, Dana McDonald, said, what's your address? He sent me this mess. And I said, I'm not taking it because I'm allergic to everything. Then I met Samantha Paisley, who used to be the Ravens PR person. I ended up buying the vitamin, but I still wasn't going to take it. Well, I'm skipping over stuff. December the 12th, 2013, I woke up. I was fully blind in both eyes. December the 13th, I was fully paralyzed. December the 16th, I woke up, and I couldn't see out. The one eyesight came back, one didn't. I was paralyzed, and I asked God to take this with my left hand because I was paralyzed. I couldn't move my right hand. That vitamins was sitting there. The Thrive was sitting there. I didn't know what it was. I found out I probably was the first person in Baltimore to use the Thrive. I took the capsules, and 2 hours later, something wasn't right. I was feeling good. That day, I realized I didn't lose my eyesight at all. The eyesight kept going back and forth. The next day, I could feel my fingers and toes. It seemed like my daughter was like, people was like, all this didn't happen. But if y'all watch my pictures, y'all would see everything. 2 weeks later, I lost 12 pounds. A month later, I lost 20 pounds. And I used to wear 18, and now I'm down to at least 10. These jeans, actually, no, these jeans I got on now is actually an 8.
So as you know, Thrive saved her life.
Thrive
and we have
saved
to
my
have her come back and talk about Thrive because we
Yes.
have like 30 seconds now. But this
I
show
told
has
y'all
been-
it was too long.
Yes, this show has been sponsored by Hugs Don't Shoot, and as you heard, they need men to come out and support them at these events. Next week, we're going to have Flawless here to give us some beauty tips and talk about how we can stay pretty. So I'm looking forward to that, doing a quick little demo on how to change your look and feel good about yourself.
Website.
Oh yeah, how can they find you real quick?
Hug Don't Shoot. You could go on Facebook and Instagram as Hug Don't Shoot. You go to the website www.hugdon'tshoot.org. You can sign up for volunteers. You can sign up for us to come to your event. We will come to any event that is nonprofit and helping the community. If your loved one's in the hospital, we'll go to that event. We go to anything to give you moral support. And you can order T-shirts.
Thank you, and tune in next week, same time.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Woo, nice.